Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today, we're going to talk about wine. 葡萄酒, 葡萄美酒. And remember, wine is specifically referring to an alcoholic beverage made from grapes. That does not include cognac. Cognac is made from grapes too, but it's not wine. Here in Taiwan, of course, there's a problem with the word 酒. A lot of times they translate the word 酒 to mean wine, but that's not quite correct because wine basically only refers to grape wine, 葡萄酒, from France and South Africa and Chile and places like that, California, with different kinds of red wine and rosé and white and stuff like
Champagne.
that.
Hey, so they don't have a word that works better for just grape?
Well, they do. You can
wine?
say 葡萄酒. You can say that.
Oh.
But I've just seen this so many times they use the word wine on something, and it's like, well, that's not really wine, you know. You can't call it that. It's something else because 酒 refers to all sorts of
alcohol,
different kinds of alcoholic beverages. So in any case, I just thought I'd point that out.
It could be beer. Yeah.
In a way, a pijo. Yeah, there's a Joe there.
There you go.
But in any case, we're talking about wine in today's program. And of course, wine is one of those things in which people can really learn a lot about, and you can look really cool.
Be expert, yeah.
And you can spend a lot of money on a bottle of wine, and you can show off and stuff like that. So it's one of those things that the nouveau riche really like to imbibe in. Even if they don't like it, they still drink it just to show off.
You got to explain those words. So, nouveau riche means new rich in French, and then imbibe. What's imbibe?
Just to drink something as if you're really enjoying it, like imbibing in a fine French wine or something like that.
Especially alcohol.
Especially with alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
So wine is one of those things, and you might be a wine snob or a foodie or whatever, and you might want to consider a career as a sommelier. I hope I said that right. That's a French word.
Sommelier. You did, yeah.
Okay, very good. Maybe
I have to confess, Tom, and to the listeners, I don't drink, so I don't know anything about this really. I've been learning over the years because I've had to record things. But yeah. Are you a big wine guy?
No, not really.
I didn't think so.
I used to drink bourbon. Bourbon whiskey was my drink of choice.
That's hard liquor.
Yes, straight over ice, basically. I'm not so much into single malt scotches. I know that's something else you can use to show off your money with. But no, I'm a bourbon drinker. But well, I'm not anymore. I'm trying to kick the habit because I think it's affecting my circulatory system or something. So I'm trying to kick the alcohol. But in any case, yes, some people like wine, and they might choose a job as a sommelier, which is an expert on wine, and you can find jobs at restaurants and things like that where you can try to establish the menu and try to figure out which wines you can carry on your menu to match the items on your food menu, and you can give recommendations to customers and stuff like that, and you can make a ton of money if this is your chosen career. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's talk about sommeliers, the wizards of wine. Let's listen now. A fancy restaurant is filled with the low hum of polite conversation. The menu looks great, but while two of the diners have decided what to eat, they have no idea which wine to select. They call over the waiter to ask for a recommendation. He's happy to provide several, as he's been thoroughly prepared by the restaurant's resident sommelier. Sommeliers are professional wine experts. They know much more than how wines taste, though. They also understand how to store wine correctly and how to pair wine with food. For example, while many people know that white wine goes with chicken and fish, and red wine usually accompanies red meat, a sommelier will know which wine complements every dish on the menu. Sommeliers are usually employed by high-end restaurants to create perfect marriages of food and wine. In order to do this, they work closely with the chefs to devise a menu and a wine list, and then train the waitstaff on what to recommend to diners. Anyone hoping to become a sommelier is in for plenty of training. A basic course lasts at least 6 months and costs thousands of dollars. They will learn what wines from each region of the world taste like and how the geography and geology of that region contribute to their flavor profiles. There's more to being a sommelier than just knowing a Bordeaux from a Beaujolais, though. Psychology is important because sommeliers must understand what diners' expectations are and how to meet them. What's more, experience is essential as this is a practical subject that involves traveling to different areas and sampling thousands of wines and regional dishes. To become a master sommelier is the work of a lifetime, but with such an enjoyable subject, who wouldn't want to receive an education in wine?
Okay, we're going to talk about these sommeliers, the wizards of wine. Again, Tom explained what a sommelier is. They're very good with wine. They're considered to be masters or experts of different types of wine and what goes with what dish. I haven't really had any wine to drink, but I know that with fish, you should usually drink white wine, and with duck and roast beef, it's usually red, but everybody has their favorites. I've also heard that red is a little sweeter, but I'm not sure. They smell terrible to me. They don't even smell good. But yeah, I have a friend here in Taiwan. Again, very unusual. She's Taiwanese, but she loves wine. Most of my friends don't even drink, but she loves wine, and she invests a lot in bottles of wine. They can be expensive. If you're a wizard, you are someone who's magical. We first learned this word, I think most of us, when we read Harry Potter or saw the movies. Harry Potter, he was a wizard. The opposite of a wizard is a witch. A witch is a girl, and a wizard is usually a guy, but it really doesn't matter here. Sommeliers can be men or women, but they're really good with wine.
We're off to see the wizards of sommeliers. We're off to see the wizards, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Of course, that's probably the most famous wizard in the world. In the movie played by Frank Morgan. But in any case here, these are the wizards of wine. They know a lot about wine, and these are the experts here. I like wine from time to time. If somebody's serving wine, I'll certainly have it. I like to have red wine, and I like it to be a little dry. I hate sweet wine.
You don't like white wine?
White wine is fine. I like it, I guess.
You prefer red.
Actually, to tell you the truth, if somebody put a blindfold on me and gave me a glass of white wine and red wine, I probably couldn't really tell the difference.
Oh, I thought they were really different. Okay.
They probably are, but, a lot of people think they're a lot smarter than they really are in terms of wine and stuff like that. I'm going to admit that myself. I don't know much about wine.
Well, Tom, part of the wine thing is if you know wine, you're supposed to be sophisticated, right?
Exactly.
If you're a foodie and you know gourmet food, you're supposed to be sophisticated.
And if you are sophisticated, of course, you're going to eat your meals in a fancy restaurant, okay? Not just a night marketplace or something like that, a diner that has rice dishes or something like that.
Or Burger King.
Exactly. You wouldn't be caught dead in a Burger King. You want to go to a Michelin 3-star restaurant.
Totally.
Those are the only restaurants you'll be seen in. This particular fancy restaurant is filled with the low hum of polite conversation. The low hum, that means people aren't talking very loudly like they would in a night market. In night markets, of course, they're letting themselves go, having a good time. But, of course, if you're in a fancy restaurant, you got to sound cool, sophisticated, so you can't talk too loudly. And this, of course, is very polite conversation. Nobody's calling each other names and stuff like that, or using cuss words. And the menu looks great, but while two of the diners have decided what to eat, they have no idea which wine to select. Okay, so they've looked at the menu and they've picked something out to eat. They've made that decision, but usually, of course, if you're having Western food, you want to have a wine to go with it. But in this particular case, these people are kind of humble here. They just don't really know which wine to have with their meal.
Well, I think they're honest. Some people want to pretend they have more expertise in something than they do, but they're humble. They call over the waiter to ask for a recommendation. A recommendation is When you ask somebody for their opinion on something, usually they've had experience with something. Maybe you're asking for their recommendation on a movie or a restaurant. Or maybe, you need a dentist and you say, hey, can you recommend anyone for us that you've been happy with? So they ask for a recommendation from the waiter. He's happy to provide several as he's been thoroughly prepared by the restaurant's resident sommelier. Sometimes those sommeliers don't work all day long. Usually they're working at night so that they can be there for their really exclusive customers, who come in. Thoroughly means entirely. So you're really, really prepared. Probably that sommelier talks and gives little classes to all the waiters and gets them up to speed on different wines and brands that they should be recommending for certain dishes. So if you do something thoroughly, it's very thorough. You do it completely. You don't leave anything out. You try to get all the details in. And if you're prepared, someone's helping you out, so you look smart while you're doing your job. A resident anything is somebody who actually works there. So if you're the resident chef or the resident expert, you're somebody who is on site, ready to help others with all of your knowledge and expertise.
Yeah, and I understand there's quite a high amount of turnover in the restaurant business, especially in fancy restaurants.
Yes.
Chefs are coming and going all the time, as are sommeliers. So, of course, this sommelier here is probably back behind the kitchen somewhere or something, and he or she has instructed the waitstaff on how to recommend wines to people. Well, let's talk about what sommeliers are. They are professional wine experts, okay? And in order to become a professional wine expert, of course, you're going to have a lot of training. They know much more than how wines taste, though. Okay, that's one thing they do need to know, what they taste like. Yes, it's kind of dry. It has hints of blackberry and licorice in there with a hint of the oak barrel that it was fermented in. I don't know if they actually ferment wine in oak barrels, but I'm just kind of making this up as I go. But in any case here, yes, they know about the taste, of course. They know about all the subtleties of the flavors that are included there, but they also understand how to store wine correctly, where to put it. Is it going to be in the cellar, a dry place? What's the temperature going to be? What kind of rack is it going to be on? How long should they be aged and stuff like that? And they also know how to pair wine with food. Well, this particular dish goes with this wine from this region of France, which was a vintage from this particular year, etc. They need to know all that stuff.
That's really important. So here's an example that our author's given us. Well, many people know that white wine goes with chicken and fish. I've always thought white-looking meat or fish, that's when you use the white wine. And red wine usually accompanies red meat or goes with red meat. A sommelier will know which wine complements every dish on the menu. That's true. And sometimes you can break that. That's kind of a broad rule, with the white wine with the fish and white meat, and then red wine with the darker meat. Sometimes that doesn't always hold true. And so that's why you need an expert. If you accompany something with something else, it means it goes together well. You can also, as a person, accompany a friend to see a concert, or maybe you go to the park accompanied by your dog. So you go with something else. That's what accompany means. A sommelier will know which wine complements every dish. This isn't saying, oh, hey, chicken pot pie, you look beautiful tonight. That's a compliment. Sounds the same, but the spelling of this word is different. You can look at it. If something complements something else, they suit each other. They go well together.
Indeed, they bring out the best of each other. Of course, the main entree there tastes good, but it would taste even better with the correct wine and vice versa. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break right now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们首先来看到今天第一个空格的句子写着 The menu blank one great, but while two of the diners have decided what to eat, they have no idea which wine to select. 在这里提到在餐厅的场景当中，菜单怎么样，然而呢，有2位用餐者决定要吃的时候，却是不知道该挑选哪一种酒。这是我们今天的场景。我们来看一下第一题 A 选项 is looked， B looks like， 后面加名词， C is looked like， D looks， 在这里提到菜单看起来很棒，正确答案就选择 D looks。接着第二个空格的句子写着 They know blank to how wine tastes though， 在这里前面提到的是 sommelier， 这也就是我们常常听到的侍酒师。那他们其实呢就是酒品的专家，然而他们怎么样呢？后面的文意还提到他们还了解怎么样要正确的储藏酒，以及用酒来搭配另外不同的食物，所以他们知道的可不仅止于是酒的味道而已哦。搭配文意，第二题我们可以选择 much more than， 代表着呢就是不仅止于这样子而已。而 B 的选项 nothing more than 则是有仅止，或者我们可以说它等于 only。 C 的选项跟 D 的选项呢都不是正确的用法。接着我们来看到第3个空格，前面提到呢，一般人知道白酒要配鸡跟鱼，红酒要配红肉。后半句提到 A sommelier will know which wine blank 3 every dish on the menu， 而一个侍酒师呢，他则会知道是哪一种酒要怎么样来搭配菜单上的每一道菜。我们来看一下第3题的4个选项。 A penetrates 穿透刺穿， B complements 与什么相配， C irritates 使某人生气， D undertakes 承担。当然了，侍酒师呢最能够清楚的就是哪一种酒要搭配怎么样子的菜色，所以正确答案第3题就选择 B complements。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about Wizards of Wine. The title for these folks is sommelier, which is a French word. Sorry about that. It's kind of a weird word. I don't think it's very easy to say, even for Americans. So that's what a sommelier is, an expert of wine.
All it is the French word for butler, basically. Sounds fancy in other languages, though.
It does. That's why we like to use French sometimes. Well, sommeliers are usually employed by high-end restaurants. High-end here just simply means expensive, so you have to pay a lot. Yeah, you usually don't see them even in, like mid-range restaurants. They're usually high-end gourmet restaurants. They're the only ones who can really afford to pay a salary for these guys because they don't do much. They're just matching and pairing wine. They're stocking the wine the restaurant carries. They don't have a lot of responsibilities. That's why usually I see them working in the evening because they go table to table, talking to the guests, that frequently come.
Exactly. So these sommeliers are employed or hired by high-end restaurants to create perfect marriages of food and wine. A marriage, of course, is when a man or a woman gets together and they exchange their vows and they live happily ever after, producing children and stuff like that, and accompanying each other in old age. But here, yes, you want the food and the wine to work well together, and in order to do this, they work closely with the chefs to devise a menu and a wine list, and then train the waitstaff on what to recommend to diners. So first of all, they talk to the chefs. Yes, what kind of food do you prepare in this restaurant? How do you prepare it? What sorts of ingredients do you use? Where are those ingredients from? Etc., etc. So with that information, we're going to devise a wine list to go along with the menu. The menu, of course, is all the food, and the wine list is the list of all the wines they carry. in the restaurant, and they might have other ones too that they can recommend to diners. To devise something, as a verb here, just means you plan and come up with something. You come up with some sort of plan through careful consideration.
Right. And then they're also responsible for training what we're calling the wait staff. The wait staff are all the waiters. Nowadays, we don't actually use waitress very often. Everyone wants to be called just waiter. Even with actor, actress, most actresses like to be called actor. So be careful with that. People are sensitive these days. Wait staff is a plural term, guys. Don't say wait staffs.
Oh.
Don't put an S on staff, please.
It hurts to hear that.
It hurts, yeah. So they train all the waiters to know what to recommend for each dish. Now, anyone hoping to become a sommelier is in for plenty of training. Is in for something means you can expect to have to go through this in order to achieve something. So I could invite Tom to a party this Friday at my house. Oh, he's in for a lot of fun. That's what he can expect. Oh, we're going to have lots of fun at the party. So that's what is in for something actually means. It's kind of interesting. There are just a lot of little words that add up to that's what you can expect. So a basic course lasts at least 6 months, costs a lot of money, thousands of dollars. So you usually have to have some money in your family to take this course. It's not cheap. But if you really love wine, maybe your family's always been into wine, this is a career choice for you.
Wow, that reminds me of the time I was considering becoming a bartender, going to bartending school. I went to check out a bartending school in Phoenix, Arizona, actually, when I was down there visiting a friend. But I ruled that out. I didn't want to work around a bunch of drunks. But in any case, yes, if you want to be a sommelier, you will work around people who are probably fairly difficult. I understand that, rich people who go to fancy restaurants let the wait staff know that they can push them around and stuff like that. But in any case, a sommelier probably learns to expect that. But yes, indeed, you need to have 6 months of training at least, and you need to have lots of money to pay the tuition. They will learn what wines from each region of the world taste like, different wine-producing regions. Yes, from France, of course, but also from other places like Chile and Washington State in the USA, California, South Africa. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Australia, of course, produces some great wine, as I understand. I wouldn't know myself, but I've heard that they're good. But in any case, yes, they know about the wines from different regions of the world, different vintages, and also they learn about the geography, like the soil that the grapes are grown in, and the geology of that region, what kind of minerals are in the soil, and is it mountainous, is it plains and stuff like that. And all of this information will contribute to their flavor profiles. A profile just means its uniqueness, okay? What makes a particular wine special, and how is it special compared to other ones?
Yeah, it's characteristics. They'll talk about the scent, the flavor, whether it's dry, whether it's sweet, things like that. So there's more to being a sommelier than just knowing a Bordeaux from a Beaujolais, though. So you have to distinguish between wines. But there's more than that to the job. Psychology, or understanding the way minds work, is important because sommeliers must understand what diners' expectations are and how to meet them. Their number one job is to make sure the guests at that restaurant are very happy and that they will buy the most expensive bottles of wine they can afford. What's more, experience is essential. They don't want to hire someone who's just fresh out of sommelier school. They want to hire someone who's just been around a lot, tasted a lot of wine, worked with a lot of restaurant guests in the past. What's more, it says this is a practical subject that involves traveling to different areas and sampling thousands of wines and regional dishes. Ooh, you get to eat a lot of food, gourmet food, that is. If something's practical, it's kind of hands-on. You don't just talk about it, you do it. You get involved. It's a hands-on sort of thing. They have to actually eat and drink, so it is practical. And if something involves something else, that's what it includes. So you'll have to travel a lot. which a lot of people enjoy. Some people don't. So if you don't like to travel or eat gourmet food, this isn't for you.
Yeah, just stay home and have your Nero man at the night market with some black tea or something like that. But to become a master sommelier is the work of a lifetime. But with such an enjoyable subject, who wouldn't want to receive an education in wine?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm very sure that people in Taiwan could become experts in wine tasting and stuff like that. Is it a possible future choice as a career? So, hey, you might consider it, and hopefully we've given you some incentive to do that in our program. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
接着我们来看到第4个空格的句子 Anyone blank for to become a sommelier is in for plenty of training. 在这里呢，我们可以从空格开始括号，括到 sommelier， 那么呢，就是来修饰前面的 anyone。任何一个想要成为侍酒师的人呢，都必须要接受很多的训练。在这一句里面 anyone 所搭配的动词是 is， 所以呢，在后面原本有一个形容词子句的 anyone who hopes to，在这里 who 省略掉了，所以第4题的正确答案就选择 C hoping。接着我们来看到第5个空格后半句提到呢，这些侍酒师呢，他们会知道每一个地区的酒品尝起来的样貌会是如何。后半句提到 and how the geography and geology of that region blank 5 their flavor profiles。除此之外呢，他们还知道那个地区的地质是怎么样，他们所有的这样子的风味。第5题的 A 选项 substitute for 代替 B elaborate on 详细说明 C contribute to 造成导致 D approve of赞成同意。这些侍酒师们呢，他必须要了解到这个区域的地形跟地质是如何导致造成这些酒的不同风味，所以搭配文意第5题就选择 C contribute to。 接着第6个空格后面的句子提到 blank 6 is important because sommeliers must understand what diners' expectations are and how to meet them. 什么东西也是很重要的呢？因为这些侍酒师必须要了解这些用餐者的预期的期望，以及要去符合他们的期待。第6题 A mythology 神话 B psychology 心理学 C nutrition 营养 D prescription 处方。在这里谈到要了解客人的期待，还要去符合它，当然就是跟心理学有关系咯。所以第6题的标准答案就选择 B psychology。 第7个空格What's more, experience is blank 7 as this is a practical subject that involves traveling to different areas and sampling thousands of wines and regional dishes. 在这里提到你必须要走遍不同的地区，而且要品尝大量的酒类以及地方的菜肴，有这样的实作的一个科目，那么就提到了经验是怎么样的呢？第7题 A essential 必须的重要的 B eligible 法律上合格的 C subtle 微妙的 D suspicious 怀疑的。经验当然很重要咯，所以第7题的标准答案就选择 A essential。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Thanks for joining us, guys. This is the end of our career unit on sommeliers, wizards of wine. We hope that some of our listeners out there get interested and maybe pursue this as a career. Good luck. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
See ya.